Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary. Today on One, access to information bill tabled in Parliament. Rumours on local transmissions in commas false, says Shangula. Primary schools ready to reopen, and EduVision, the game changer on e-learning.
Pea Mushelenga, the Minister of Information and Communication Technology, recently announced that the much-anticipated Access to Information Bill was tabled in Parliament. Today on One spoke to the State House Press Secretary, Alfredo Hengari, and Institute for Public Policy Research, Graham Hopwood, to find out their views on the state of press freedom in Namibia under the leadership of President Hage Geingob. Namibia has retained its #1 position in press freedom in Africa for 2 consecutive years, which the head of state continues to champion as one of the achievements made during his tenure in office as the president of Namibia. Today on One spoke to Graham Hopwood, the executive director of the Institute for Public Policy Research, to find out his views on the state of press freedom under Geingob's leadership.
I think the president is, right, and Namibians should be proud of the achievements on press freedom and the fact that we are #1 in Africa and also amongst the top countries in the world in terms of press freedom. So I'm glad that he mentions that a lot, because it means actually that it is valued by government that we have that status, and therefore I think government maybe has sort of made a couple of missteps recently, maybe because of the limiting of access to certain media conferences at State House. But at least I think the government quickly apologised for that, and we also now have the Access to Information Bill coming in, which should also bolster our position and strengthen our position as a country known for press freedom. So I think on the whole, I think you've got to think about the bigger picture. Yes, we have some issues like access to press conferences, a couple of things that shouldn't have happened regarding treatment by the security forces. But when you think what's happening in other countries, even neighbouring countries to us, journalists are being arrested, being harassed physically every day, disappearing. In some countries like Mozambique at the moment, it seems to be worsening on that. So in that context, we are a beacon of hope, I think, and we need to build on that. And I think our view is that when we do well in these governance areas, we shouldn't be satisfied and stop. We should see that as a building block and build on further and establish our reputation even more as a haven for press freedom, and do even more progressive things, including sort of making sure access for journalists is equal amongst state and privately owned media.
The media fraternity recently witnessed 2 female journalists being assaulted by the Namibian police after they were denied access to attend the commissioning of a COVID-19 isolation facility at Windhoek Central Hospital that was attended and officiated by President Geingob and the Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula. Today on One spoke to Alfredo Hengari, the State House Press Secretary, to find out his views.
Media practitioners, especially during this very difficult period of COVID, we have to respect certain regulations and restrictions. If the number exceeds 50, we will be in problems, and the media will be the first to write about the president or the presidency or government ignoring its own regulation. So if there are 50 people in a room, unfortunately, you could be a journalist duly invited to an event. You have to respect some of those protocols, and there's no need to create drama in order to eat into our equity as a country that respects media freedom. Some are not particularly happy, maybe, about Namibia being #1 in terms of media freedom, but it's something that you journalists ought to be proud of, because it speaks to your work, it speaks to the environment in which you work in. We are not saying it's perfect, but we'll endeavor to make sure that journalists continue to operate in optimum conditions in this country.
The Namibia Media Trust also issued a statement condemning the ever-increasing government practice of allowing only state-owned media institutions to certain public engagements, especially since the declaration of the state of emergency.
Bring the family together with great specials. Like 2 kg Sunlight hand washing powder for only $41.99 and Shield Roll-On deodorant for just $14.69.
I'll be your lighthouse and bring you back to me.
We're here for you.
The Minister of Health and Social Services today announced that rumors that have been circulating on social media that Khomas region has recorded a local transmission are completely false. He also cautioned individuals that are identified to be accessing people's information from registers at premise entrances that they will be held accountable if found. Shangula further announced that 3 new cases have been recorded, which brings the total cases in the country to 39. Rumors of the Khomas region allegedly having recorded a local COVID-19 transmission have been strongly dismissed and condemned by Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula.
We do not have a case of local transmission in Khomas. All the cases in Khomas, they originate from the quarantine and they are in the isolation unit. So there is no truth in saying that there is community transmission in Khomas region, because all the cases, they came from the quarantines. Some individuals, they get access to the information in the registers where people are entering premises, that anybody who found doing that is committing an offense and is liable for a fine of 2,000 Namibia dollar or 6 months in jail or both. So it is a caution to the public to ensure that they should not misuse or abuse the opportunity for having access to the register, and also for the owners to ensure that the confidentiality of the information provided is maintained.
The minister also noted that Namibia has recorded 3 new cases, which brings the total of COVID-19 cases to 39. He further noted that case number 22 continues to make good progress and is off the ventilator.
Case number 22 in Walvis Bay is making very good progress and is breathing spontaneously, and obviously we wish him a speedy recovery. I announced 3 new cases. The first one is a 20-year-old Namibian male who is a resident in Walvis Bay, but traveled from Walvis Bay to go and school in Marienthal. So when he presented with flu-like symptoms, and then it was tested and it was found to be positive, but is originally from Walvis Bay. Then there is one student, 22-year-old student, who is studying in UK, had COVID-like symptoms while in England in March, but then the symptom resolved, traveled back to Namibia, put in the quarantine, and as our protocol, was tested for COVID-19 and found to be positive. So this one we can clearly say is an imported case. Then we have a 55-year-old female Namibian who is a resident of Swakopmund, who also tested positive.
To date, Namibia has 39 confirmed cases, 19 recoveries, 20 active cases, 0 deaths, and a total of 6,355 samples tested. The minister further encouraged the public to keep safe and adhere to the regulations set in place to help curb the pandemic.
When you're saying things that degrade women, for me, number one, I am not there, because that is basically what I don't believe in. I don't stand for things that degrade women.
What do you think we can add? What can we put in the basket?
First of all, let's put Blossom back in the basket.
Look at the person like, man, let's do a song.
Let's do something.
Just
let's
like
collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
The Africans were claiming us.
Yes, exactly. To the rest of the world, they belong to us. Namibia, Baba, Namibia.
I'll help you carry on.
creating music and putting some stuff out for the people who've been supporting me, that's definitely something that's next on my list.
Primary schools in the capital are gearing up to reopen for teaching of the lower grades on Monday, the 22nd of June, with parents being sensitized and social distancing measures being put in place. Today, On One visited Bet-El Primary School, where parents and teachers were being sensitized on the hygiene and social distancing practices expected from learners when they resume classes on Monday.
These are some of the things that we want to sensitize them with in terms of even when the child is coming from home, what should they be aware of? When they're in public transport, whether taking a taxi or a minibus, what should they be aware of? When they come at school, they should also be informed that we will be taking their temperatures on a daily basis. The most important thing is that we don't want them to contract the virus on the way to school, and we don't want them also to contract the virus from school, taking it back home. So also for the parents, they should also be informed that education starts at home. So if we start with the parents, they can convey it easily to the little ones.
Namutoni Primary School has introduced tippy taps at the school, and learners will be provided with masks and their hands sanitized upon arrival.
We have a secure tippy tap sanitizer. All the children who, we have 450 masks for the children who are coming on Monday. Everybody will be getting a free mask. And then also around the school, we have already marked to make sure that social distance is being adhered to. And then around the school also, we put a lot of posters when it's come to washing hands, social distancing, and wearing of a mask.
Teachers at Cederhof Primary say classes will be disinfected in between sessions and be provided with sanitizing stations.
We have made this learner-friendly where everything is in place. We are going to sanitize them. Say, for instance, when the first session is done, then we have to, for the 30 minutes, we have to disinfect and sanitize everything for the next group to come. We are going to put them in groups of 2. The first session is starting at around 7:30 up to 11:30. And then the first group will be of 9 learners per session.
Phase 3 of face-to-face schooling is the resumption of classes for grade 7 and 9 on the 6th of July 2020.
Accommodation is the ability of the eye to focus on distant and near objects.
And I bring it in contact with the electroscope. What you must keep in mind is positive charge can't move. It is the negative charge that moves.
The first one, EF, is then going to be 0 minus -2 over 4 minus -4. Look at my signs. If you go wrong there, if you don't substitute in brackets, you're definitely going to get wrong answers.
As the country continues to brace the COVID-19 pandemic, the education system faces the ultimate challenge of having to deliver quality education without putting the health of learners at risk. E-learning remains an alternative that is on the drawing board, and one school in particular called Edugate in Oshoarongo has been making strides for 2 years with its Eduvision e-learning platform. Eduvision has reached thousands of learners in remote areas of the region and beyond. At the beginning of the EduVision project in 2017, the founders had no idea that in the near future, e-learning would prove to be a critical method of teaching for Namibia. Through EduLearn, class sessions are recorded and uploaded onto the platform, allowing learners an opportunity to access the lessons on their computers in their own time.
We always had some of the best teachers in the country. We are very proud to be associated with the school, and then 2 years ago this dream started from a vision that Mr. Frikkie Louw had of sharing the high quality education and the high quality lessons from the teachers at the school with the rest of the country. During the lockdown period, a lot of people was in panic. For us it was just, let's just switch over, and we're currently busy to put all our grades and all our subjects online. So we are busy, and we are busy refining our EduLearn system now. Any person from all over the world can sign into our lessons, our EduLearn project or our program, and they can have access to all these lessons.
The learners praised the initiative and said that it has made learning easier and fun.
I found it easier because I can't just sit at home and do nothing. So it was quite easier because you can watch the videos and you can rewind, you can re-watch them, and you can discipline yourself more every single day on what time basis you want to do your work, either in the afternoon or in the night. So it was quite easy for me as well.
I like face-to-face learning, but this time it was much easier for me to not have any distractions or concentrate more, replay everything, go through it again, hear what they're saying on my own pace.
Teachers of science and mathematics subjects at the school described the experience as a brand new world for them and their learners.
I actually think that we are putting kids on another level of individuality, but also of experiencing responsibility, because they have to motivate themselves now to switch on their computer and to watch the full lesson and to participate.
I like the fact that I can work with colors. I like to explain with colors where the methods are coming in, where I'm making changes. And then also what's a nice thing is that you can just open a new page, so you don't need to wipe out the whole board there. And then there's really a wonderful world in this board.
EduVision is also making assessment a reality on its website, and with this, teachers can evaluate the performance of learners. In April this year, EduVision partnered with One Africa Television and launched the #LearnOn1 campaign that provides Namibian children and adult education learners with extra classes by broadcasting the educational programs and materials on its channel and live stream platforms during daytime hours.
Make sure you catch It's a Wrap in our new time slot. Now on Sundays from 7:30 with repeats on Tuesday nights at 8:30.
In other leading stories, the Monetary Policy Committee MPC of the Bank of Namibia decided to reduce the repo rate from 4.25% to 4%, a historic low. This decision was taken following a review of global, regional and domestic economic and financial developments. In a media statement, the bank noted that this translates to a cumulative 2.50 percentage point reduction in the repo rate since the beginning of 2020. The MPC had to balance the need for further monetary stimulus in the face of the pandemic-induced weakness in the economy against the importance to not undermine sound saving and investment decisions in the economy. The MPC is of the view that at 4%, the repo rate is appropriate to support domestic economic activity, while at the same time safeguarding the one-on-one link between the Namibia dollar and the South African rand. The next meeting of the MPC will be held on the 18th of August 2020.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. As the town of Walvis Bay finds itself in another lockdown, many of its residents are finding themselves without shelter as they are asked to vacate their homes by landlords. Liesel said the town is supposed to be in a lockdown state, but all malls and shops are still open for business and residents are moving in and out of the town. Esther sympathized with police officers that are not able to afford decent housing. Pia said that water and electricity bills are also expensive as well. Lucas said people need their own apartments and this might be the right time for government and the municipality to consider this idea. Terence said the country needs affordable housing and not self-enriching leaders. Lucas said it is particularly hard to survive during these times. Bertha said Walvis Bay needs to establish an informal settlement like one called DRC in Swakopmund. Rich said the municipality of the town already increased tariffs and are no longer in a position to appeal. Monica said that it is disheartening to see people renting in shacks and asked the municipality to avail land to the people. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
The BBC's new weekly show will explore the big sporting issues and questions, like why Africans aren't winning medals in the pool.
I just think it's their mindset.
Meeting established and rising stars.
I could be the Nigerian first Grand Slam winner.
And at the heart of it will be you, the fans, with your passion, your opinions, your stories, and even tests of your sporting knowledge. Go beyond the game with BBC Sport Africa.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. East wind conditions will persist in the Namib and over the coastal areas tomorrow. The Namibia interior cold at first in the south, east and central regions, elsewhere sunny and mild to warm, but partly cloudy and warm to hot in the northeast. It will be partly cloudy in the southern regions at first. Windy weather will prevail in the interior. The coast, sunny and warm to hot with sandstorms at times, and the wind moderate to fresh easterly. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
Wake up in the morning, thank God for a new day. I don't follow what you say, I don't copy how you play. Cause God got me, you can't stop me. I live tropic, I've been shocking. My lyrics been cocky, hair in deck. You stay locking, I'm no copy. I'm too real with it and y'all sloppy. Coexist with the universe, you can't block me. I take you out of the clans like a Mercedes-Benz pocket. So I set me up properly. Hold up, I'ma dumb it down. I can't relate how you want me to. I finesse with my potential anywhere that I want me to. Careful of the energy that your mind can project. I'm from a place where we trade respect for respect. And thank all of y'all that put my projects up for reject. Cause now I'm stronger and I'm better than my last. Like I can Usain Bolt just running through these tracks. All of you is similar, yeah, in the same class. You always say you're different, yep, same as. But I'ma live my life, put it in God's hands. Stay focused and don't lose it, I'm focused.
BBC World News, the biggest African and international